When people talk about the future of cameras, one name always comes up: Sony. Over the past decade, Sony has built a reputation for pushing the boundaries of mirrorless technology. Their Alpha series has become a benchmark for professionals and enthusiasts alike. Among that lineup, the A7R family stands out as the king of resolution, the body that always stretches the limits of detail and sharpness. And now, in 2025, the whispers are louder than ever. Rumors are swirling about the Sony a7R6, a camera that could arrive late this year or early in 2026. Nothing is official yet, but the leaks, the hints, and the chatter paint a picture of something extraordinary. A camera that could redefine what we expect from mirrorless systems. So let's break it down. What do we know? What do we expect? And why is the photography world buzzing with excitement? The legacy of the R series. Before we dive into the details, let's remind ourselves why the R series matters. The R has always stood for resolution. With the a7R4, Sony stunned the world by offering 61 megapixels, a number that sounded almost excessive at the time. Then came the a7RV, which refined the experience with smarter autofocus, powerful stabilization, and that same incredible detail. For landscape photographers, product shooters, and anyone obsessed with fine detail, the R series has been a dream tool. It delivers files so rich that you can crop deeply, print huge, and still retain clarity that other cameras struggle to match. It's no surprise that every new R body brings a wave of speculation. People wonder, how far will Sony push resolution this time? The sensor, 80 or even 100 megapixels. Here's where the biggest rumor comes in. The a7R6 may not stop at 61 megapixels. Word on the street says Sony could leap to 80 megapixels or even 100 megapixels. That's territory usually reserved for medium format systems, the kinds of cameras used in studios for luxury ads and high-end fashion. If Sony brings that level of resolution into a compact, full-frame mirrorless body, it would be groundbreaking. Think about what that means in practice. With 80 or 100 megapixels, every shot contains an insane amount of information. Landscape photographers could capture wide, sweeping scenes, and then crop in later to reveal small details without losing quality. Product photographers could deliver sharper textures for clients demanding the highest accuracy. Even casual shooters would benefit because the flexibility to crop and reframe opens up creative options like never before. Of course, this kind of resolution also raises challenges. File sizes balloon. Storage requirements climb. Computers need more power to handle editing. But for those chasing ultimate detail, those trade-offs are worth it. And with today's fast memory cards and more powerful editing software, handling giant files is becoming less of a nightmare than it once was. The promise of real 8K video. Resolution isn't just about stills. Video is where things get even more interesting. The a7R6 is rumored to deliver 8K recording, but not the limited kind that feels more like a spec sheet checkbox. We're talking usable 8K, potentially at 60 frames per second. That's a massive leap. Previous attempts at 8K often came with restrictions, heavy crops, short recording limits, or overheating issues. If Sony solves those problems with smarter heat management and full-width readout, it changes the game for videographers. Imagine capturing cinematic footage with insane detail, smooth motion, and professional flexibility, all inside a mirrorless body. And it doesn't stop at 8K. The a7R6 is also expected to push 4K up to 120 frames per second, with 10-bit color depth for rich grading options. For creators, this means slow motion with incredible sharpness and files that stand up to professional post-production. Hybrid shooters, those who juggle photography and video, will find this especially appealing. Stabilization, like a built-in gimbal. High resolution is only useful if your shots are sharp. That's why in-body image stabilization, or IBIS, has become such a critical feature. The a7RV already impressed with up to 8 stops of stabilization, letting you handhold shots that once required a tripod. The a7R6 might go even further. Rumors suggest Sony is working on enhanced stabilization that that could make handheld shooting feel almost like using a gimbal. That means landscape photographers could shoot at slower shutter speeds without blur. Videographers could capture smoother motion without extra gear. Travel shooters could pack lighter, knowing their camera helps keep footage steady. It may sound like a small detail, but when you're working in challenging environments, windy cliffs, crowded streets, or dim interiors, stabilization makes the difference between frustration and usable images. The brains behind the power. All this performance requires serious processing muscle. The current BIONZ XR processor has done a great job, but the A7 or 6 may bring an upgraded version, or even dual processors. That kind of power boost affects everything. Faster processors mean snappier menus, quicker image previews, and smoother playback. Autofocus becomes faster and more reliable. Video compression becomes more efficient. Buffer clearing speeds up, letting you fire long bursts without waiting. It's the invisible backbone of the camera, and for professionals, it can mean the difference between capturing the moment or missing it. Autofocus and next-gen AI. If there's one area where Sony has consistently led, it's autofocus. The A7R already introduced an AI processing chip that could track humans, animals, and birds with impressive accuracy. But the A7R6 may push this even further. Imagine autofocus that recognizes not just faces, but specific gestures, objects, or even complex movement patterns. Reports suggest it could track people, pets, birds, cars, and more in real time, adjusting instantly even when subjects move unpredictably. Wildlife photographers would love it. Sports photographers would trust it. Even casual users would feel more confident knowing their shots come out tack sharp, even in fast action. This is where the future of photography is heading. Smarter systems that reduce technical stress and let you focus on creativity. Body and display. Of course, hardware design matters too. The A7R6 is expected to include a 3.2-inch fully articulated touchscreen, perfect for vloggers, filmmakers, and anyone shooting from awkward angles. Frame yourself, tilt for overhead shots, or get down low without breaking your back. Shooting speeds could also climb, with rumors suggesting 12 frames per second using the mechanical shutter and up to 15 frames per second electronically. That's fast enough for sports, wildlife, and action, despite the massive file sizes. And storage won't be a bottleneck, thanks to dual card slots that support both CF Express Type A and SD cards. That flexibility means shooters can choose between blazing speed or widespread affordability. Sony may also refine the ergonomics. Expect a slightly deeper grip for comfort, improved button feedback, and tighter weather sealing. These may sound like small tweaks, but for professionals spending hours in the field, they matter. A camera that feels good in hand encourages longer, more focused shooting sessions. Cooling, a silent hero. There's one issue every high-resolution camera faces: heat. Recording 8K or shooting long bursts creates thermal challenges. If the body overheats, recording stops, and frustration starts. The A7R6 is rumored to address this with better cooling systems, possibly more advanced passive dissipation, or even subtle active solutions. For videographers, this is crucial. No one wants to see the dreaded overheating warning during an important shoot. If Sony pulls it off, the A7R6 could become one of the most reliable hybrid tools on the market. Battery and power delivery. Power is another balancing act. Higher resolution and advanced features demand more energy. But no one wants to carry a bag full of spare batteries. Sony may introduce a more efficient battery or optimize power management with smarter firmware. Add USB-C power delivery, and the A7R6 could charge quickly or even run continuously while connected. For studio photographers, event shooters, or streamers, this is a must-have. Imagine live streaming in 8K without worrying about the battery dying mid-session. Wrapping up Section 1. So what does that leave us? The rumored Sony a7R6 sounds like a camera built to push limits. A massive jump to 80 or 100 megapixels. Usable 8K video with improved heat control. Stronger IBIS, like a gimbal in your hands. A faster processor or even dual processors. smarter AI autofocus for tracking anything that moves, a refined body, versatile display, and reliable dual card slots, better cooling and smarter power management. It's still just rumors, but if even half of this turns out true, the A7R6 will be more than an upgrade. It will be a statement, a reminder that Sony isn't just keeping up with the industry. They're trying to stay years ahead. And for photographers and filmmakers everywhere, that's enough to spark serious excitement.